So we've been talking about raising the bar for quite a long time. And as I'm going through all my topics and things for ideas, I get to this one thing that says, are you average or are you a one percenter? Which is quite a hard question to ask ourselves. And I'm going to tackle that one in today's session, but also talk a little bit about what it takes to really raise the bar.
This is Propulsion, the podcast for forward-thinking and driven and ambitious financial planning professionals. It is the catalyst to the exponential growth of your financial planning practice, your business, or your franchise. This is where professionals come in order to learn about the latest technology, to learn about best practice when it comes to running and managing their business, as well as marketing, sales, relationship building, the best and most valuable interviews with local and international guests, and a whole host of other things. Without any further ado, here is your host, Francois du Toit.
Alrighty, so let's talk a little bit about this. I want to start off with talking a little bit about propulsion and raising the bar and where did this all come from. So way back when I started the business in 2015, we called ourselves Francois du Toit Consulting and Technology because at the time I thought, like, at least there's three people who know who I am, and just maybe connecting the two would make a lot of sense. And then in 2019, or actually at the end of 2018 in December, I decided I'm starting, or a little bit before that, I think November, I decided to start a podcast. And then I started looking at names for the podcast. I started looking at branding. We did a whole press release and we really did a proper launch for this podcast. And the name that we then decided on was Propulsion. And where this really come from is, like, I was looking for something that's strong, that shows that we never stand still, that we always endeavor to move forward, etc. And the word propulsion, I can't even remember how I came across it, or did I think of it and then went and see what the definition is exactly, or I honestly can't remember. But if you look at the definition for propulsion, it means to drive and push forward. And for me, it's like, that is really what it is about. It's about that drive and that just pushing forward. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are. If you think about what happened with lockdown and COVID and all that stuff, I know we're not supposed to talk about it anymore. We don't want to talk about it anymore. But still, it is like, even through the fact that we didn't know what we wanted to do, we did continue. And we got out the other side. None of us had a plan. None of us knew really how to react, how to respond to this new thing. But you keep pushing, you keep driving, and you do get through it. And then the other part for me, which is very important and something that's a mission of ours, is obviously to have a small positive impact on the, maybe bigger than small, but on the profession itself. So the professionalism part, and that's why you always see, when you see propulsion, the pro is always in capital letters and in bold, because it's that play on, it's propulsion, but also professional. So driving and pushing forward in the profession and for the profession is really what it is all about. I think if I can summarize this, and this is something I came up with actually in the year for another team that I was part of, and but this is ultimately what everything that we do is about, and what we're trying to do, because it is important for me. I don't care about perfectionism. It's something that I luckily was able to overcome a couple of years ago, and I think the show particularly helped me do that, because it was good enough, and it's the best I could do at that point. It was far from perfect. My lights were crap. My background was good because I had those amazing posters. But yeah, I battled with a lot of things as we moved along. But be that as it may, like, I think what we're really trying to do is to become the standard by which everything else is measured. So the way we do it, that's the thing that people look to say, like, that's how it needs to be done. That's how we want to do it. And not to say that we're doing it the right way, but what we're doing is having an impact. And it will never have an impact on everybody. But I don't care. I care about that it has an impact on you when you engage with me. Not everybody will ever engage with us, but that's the most important part. So for me, pushing and driving forward in the profession, for the profession, and becoming that standard by which everything else is measured, I think is really, really important. It's about having real impact, real impact, and to affect change where we can, where it's necessary and where it's valuable and where it's beneficial to have change. And then obviously to help set standards, etc. So that's really what propulsion is about. And I think that's where raising the bar comes in, because raising the bar means like we've got to be better. We can't just settle. We got to say, like, is there a better way that we can do it? How can we better serve somebody? How can we better look after our clients? How can we have a better impact on whoever we deal with? And that is something that's very important to me. It's something that's very important to us in the business. And I sort of wanted to start off with that to set the scene. Now, where this whole idea came from is I was in Cape Town for most of the month of December. And you remember in episode 2, we had Barry Austin on the show, and him and I were sitting in Melkbos having a chat and probably a wine. And we were just talking, and he said some things where I just in the discussion went on my phone and made a note. I shouldn't forget about this. And it's something that I've been mulling over and sort of asking myself and sort of, I think, looking at myself as well to say, well, if this stuff is so important to me, what am I doing about this? So the next thing I just want to sort of talk about first is, which I termed the law of average, but this has got nothing to do with the law of averages. That something will eventually come around again, and that because if there's enough repetition of something, it's not about that. For me, it's when we talk about average, it means, well, first off, let's just go back, because for a lot of people, they're cool to be average. They're cool to be that. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And in fact, if you really go and look at it, you and I are average at the far majority of things that we do. We will never be like the best in the world, or the best in our town, or the best in our country, or the best in our street, even for that matter. We are average at most things that we do. There's a very, very slim percentage of the population that really gets to the top. I mean, you can think about the top sportsmen in the world, top businessmen in the world. Not everybody builds these businesses. And often we can say, but I don't want to, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to build a business as big as that. I just want to build this kind of business, and then I'll be very, very happy. And that's fine. It's everybody's sort of choice around that. But we've got to understand that it's not so much about being average. What it is about for me is that if we make a decision to be average, we decide to be average, that is our decision and our strategy, then that is a problem. Versus doing everything you can and getting average results, or being average in where you fit in terms of your results, that is perfectly fine. But there's a massive difference between deciding to be average and just being average, right? Doesn't mean that we settle for average, but it does still mean that you try and do your best from that point of view. So at the end of the day, if you decide that maybe you don't care, you decide that you are complacent, you decide that you're content, you decide that it is what it is, you decide that, like, I don't want to change for these and these reasons, then the one thing you can't do is complain. Because that's what I often have in conversations. People saying, and it's not like clients, it's just friends that would go, like, oh, this is the problem. And no. Then I say, but the solution is this. No, don't want it. But then don't complain. Then you accept. If you made a decision, you accept what comes with that decision, right? And I think that is the big distinction for me between this. It's not about the results you achieve. It's about the decisions you make. And the process that you go through for those decisions. So what does it then mean to be a 1%er? In my mind, right, in Francois' definition, is that it's got everything to do with mindset. It has nothing to do with results. So it's a very big shift. Like, do you have a 1% mindset? It doesn't mean that you need 1% results. And if I say 1%, we're talking about the top 1%. So there's almost nobody better than you. You are the number one. It's not about that. It's about our thinking. It's about our mindset. It's about the way we make decisions. So decision making is about thinking for yourself. Too often, like, classic example, CRM systems and financial planning tools and those kind of things, that a lot of people will go like, what do you like and why do you like it? And then everybody goes like, oh, this particular system is amazing. And then we all go with that particular system because everybody else can't be wrong, right? But have you really gone through the process of looking at your business and what your needs are and what you want to achieve, and then compare what's out there and then make a decision? And if you then happen to make the same decision to go with the same system, then fantastic. But otherwise, you need to make a different decision, obviously, because that's not going to work for you. But it's about thinking for yourself when you make decisions. It's about doing your own homework, being confident. And then sort of Quinton Doman said a long time ago, I was in a session where Quinton said that you get married to the decision, not the outcome. Because in 99.9% of the time, we do not have control over the outcome of anything, right? We can make a decision that on that date, we're going to Cape Town. We have no control over Kulula going bust. We have no control over the weather. We have no control over the flight being on time. All we need is that I'm happy that I'm going. And even if I have to wait, I'm still going because I made the decision that I'm going. So that's really what that is about. I think being a 1%er also means that you show up when you need to show up. When you make promises, keep to those promises. It's the easiest way. I always say to my children, the easiest way for you to stand out is just to do what you say you're going to do. You don't even need to exceed expectations because, again, the majority of people who are average don't do what they say they're going to do. So that's very important. If you want to stand out, if you want to show up, then just do what you say you're going to do. And that'll be so much easier. Another thing that a 1%er does not do, because they're too busy with what they need to be busy with, is that they do not compare themselves to others. So be it family, friends, neighbors, other businesses, colleagues, anyone like that. Nothing to do. Again, go back to, it's got nothing to do with the results. It's got everything to do with who you are as a person, basically, and whether you think and operate like a 1%er. The results you achieve will probably be a lot better than what you would have achieved if you decided to just be, you know what, it's fine. If I just do this, it's fine. So that's important. And then the last thing I think for being a 1%er is that you definitely should value progress over perfection, because perfection, I've seen it time and time again in my own life and with other people, it holds you back. We would not have created the 186th episode if I had to make this show perfect, because it was only in the last month that I really got all the other equipment that I still felt I needed. I probably didn't, but you get it. So, but yeah, so progress over perfection. Like, are you better today than you were yesterday? Are you able to do something today that you weren't able to do yesterday? Do you do it perfectly? No, it doesn't matter. So it's that little bit of progress. We've spoken about this before, the principle of accretion and, you know, atomic habits and all those kind of things as well plays into that. So are you moving forward? Are you making progress? Are you becoming more efficient? Are you becoming more effective? Are you becoming more knowledgeable? So those kind of things are really important. But if you want to be a 1%er with your mindset and your thinking and your decision making, who must you become? That is, I guess, the big question. Well, focus is important. It's something that I struggled with because my little friend here does distract me quite a lot. And I've been trying the last few weeks not to let it. And I don't know why I'm so interested in my phone. But be that as it may, I've really sort of tried to step away from that. But you've got to be focused on what you need to do. And you can do great work focused for 4 hours and achieve a lot more than being distracted and work the entire day. So that's definitely something that's there. And then something that is non-negotiable is confidence. You've got to work on it. You've got to tell yourself that you've got what it takes. You've got to tell yourself that you have the skills because you've been around for a long time. And even if you're just starting out, right, you have drive and ambition probably. You can be confident in that. So you've got to find the things that you can be confident in and not go like, I don't know much. My knowledge is still lacking or whatever that excuse may be, but you need to be confident. And with confidence goes, you've got to be committed. So you have to have a strong commitment to what it is that you're trying to achieve and that you're going to make this come hell or high water and where you're going. Now, it doesn't mean that if you see that things are not working, I mean, the clever move would be to stop or to change or whatever it is that you need to do. But that's definitely, sort of the thing. Clarity, I think, is most important. And it took me a long time. It's only when I was in the UK in June that I found absolute clarity because I saw what they did is what we want to do, and it's actually possible, and it's amazing, and it is even beyond what I was thinking. And suddenly there's so much clarity, and yesterday I had a meeting. When I switched off the camera, I had goosebumps. When I present, I do MC work or moderate a panel, I swear when I leave there, I literally got goosebumps. So it's so clear the things that you should be spending time on and really doing that. I don't know why we choose to ignore that, but clarity is absolutely critical from that. And then the other thing, which has been a thing for me my whole life, and it comes naturally, but you have to be a lifelong learner. The other night, I was at a function in Pretoria, and I was chatting to someone, and again, these words, and I go like, it's so sad actually for me to hear these things, because they said, you know what, I've been in the industry for 20 years. I've seen it all. There's nothing I can learn anymore. We just do it the way we do it, and it works for us. Fantastic. And I guess there's nothing wrong with it from your perspective. But the moment you go that there's nothing more I can learn, you're starting to lose. And because you will be left behind, because people are busy with completely other things, which you are seemingly not interested in. And I said that's a personal choice. But at the end of the day, if you really want to be a 1% in terms of thinking and decision making, you got to stay a lifelong learner. So rather say, if you are reminded of something, how amazing is it that I'm reminded of it? How interesting is something? This is quite cool. Just thinking about it in a different way also makes that learning a lot easier and a lot more fun. And then a big thing which I've seen happen, and this is my biggest thing for myself. One of our values for the business, and I'll share the values in the future one, but is to forever stay humble and always remember where we come from. It is like you should never, ever become bigger than the game, because the game is still why we're all here. And if I talk about the game, it can be the profession, it can be being a husband, a wife, whatever it is, right? Never become bigger than the game. There's always somebody bigger and better than you in any event. So, so why does all of this matter, right? Why should you care? Why must you care? Not just should, but why must you care about being a 1% versus just being average? Well, because a lot of people need the inspiration that your actions and your behavior and what you portray brings, right? It is often the spark for them to do what they needed to do, or that they need to do to take that next step, and for them to start showing up and become a 1% themselves. It's definitely important to create opportunities for whatever it is in your life. It's absolutely critical for that. And then, if you want to grow your business, if you want to grow in your personal life, if you want to improve all the time, remember progress over perfection, lifelong learner, then, and you want to do that regardless of circumstances, then this is the way. Like if you do this stuff, you'll be able to push through a lockdown and a COVID. And again, like I definitely don't say that I've got it figured out, because I don't. But what I do is think about these things a lot, and I do change things every now and so often. If you think about the show that started in lockdown, I mean, that I didn't even have a plan. I just had to do something. I just decided to say, guys, I'm going to show up, and I showed up. And it's become something. It's really had a phenomenal impact on my business. It's had a phenomenal impact on my life. That was never the intention. It was there to help you and to serve you and to do things for you so that I don't go mad. That was literally the reason. So that was in it for me, is like not going mad. So very critical from that point of view. And also, if you want to attract the right people, if I look at our community, it's awesome people. I love each and every single one of you. Like, really amazing. So if you do this 1% stuff, you're going to attract people who are also 1%ers in their thinking and their mindset, or people who want to be and is seriously ready to go there. Those are the people, and it's much better to surround yourself with those people than the others just deciding not to be and then complaining about it all the time. And then, obviously, if you want to become the standard, if you want to become the go-to person, the go-to business, then, again, this is very important. Guys, we're out of time. Thank you very, very much for being here today. I really appreciate it. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. And have a great weekend. Stay safe, be blessed and prosper, and continue to raise the bar.
Thank you for listening. Remember to check out the live show, Propulsion Live, on YouTube every Friday at 7 a.m. South African time. You can find it at www.propulsion.co.za/live. That's propulsion.co.za/live. And please remember to subscribe, share with your colleagues, your friends, and anyone who may find value like you did in this podcast. Once again, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next episode.